Hey, how's everybody doing? Welcome to Talking Shit. It's your boy, the Sophisticated Jerk. And today, man, I wanted to cover a little bit of the Cam Newton, calling out Jason Whitlock, about the comments Jason Whitlock was making about Joy Taylor when he was breaking down, the whole Fox News lawsuit and the allegations. And, Jason Whitlock was making some references to how like Joy looked. So some of the comments was weird, but Cam ain't the person that should be making the statements going against Jason Whitlock, because it's like Cam kind of a degenerate. I'm just gonna go there with it. Where first of all, there was a clip of him talk about, man, he went to the strip club for the dudes. We all know he got like I think 7, 8 kids by 3 women, and I think the one female Kia Proctor was an ex stripper. So it's just like at the end of the day, Jason Whitlock, no kids, no divorces and stuff. So it's just like, man, you're not the person that needs to be calling anybody out like you're the man or anything, because typically the man ain't gonna be sitting there putting babies on a stripper. So let me get to the clip where Cam went ahead and started kind of breaking down the whole lawsuit, and he threw some shots at Jason Whitlock. And I'll stop in between and give some commentary because I think it's about 13 minutes, so I might skip over some sections, but let me go ahead and pull that up.
With that being said, let's talk about this Fox Sports accusation or this lawsuit that is a big deal.
It is. So the lawsuit go deep, bud. All right. So a former Fox Sports hairstylist, Noshin Faraji, has filed a lawsuit against Fox Sports, FS1, Executive Vice President Charlie Dixon, Skip Bayless, and co-host Joy Taylor. All right. So the lawsuit entails allegations with sexual harassment, and unwanted advancement and physical contact. So it's really murky in FS1 right now. And so with this, it's a lot of stuff going on. Some stuff might be true. Some stuff may not be true, may be true and may not be true. Yeah. So we here to pretty much talk about it and give more detail on what's going on.
So let me say this, because I don't want to be mute to the real issue here. Mm-hmm. And my personal issue is that where's the public statement from Fox Sports? Because I'll say it like this. It's not fun when the rabbit got the gun.
That's true.
Or same thing, make you laugh,
make you cry.
Now, if this was LeBron James, if this was Cam Newton, if this was Steph Curry, if this was Michael Jordan, if this was Odell Beckham, if this was Justin Jefferson, Joe Burrow, any type of sexual harassment in any magnitude, Fox Sport, ABC, Disney, ESPN, they will be covering and be wanting a statement. And that's my issue. Where's the statement, Fox, FS1, Fox? Well, I don't care. And I don't.
Let me pause it right there. And I think Cam and, I heard other people kind of siding with him on this. When you're the employer, you can't really put out a statement because you got two sides of the story. So in a lawsuit, it's really the allegations are based off of what Faraji said. So they got to do their investigation first. And because you got the other parties involved. So you got like Joy, Skip on them on this side, and you got Joy Taylor, not Joy, but Faraji on the other side. So it's like if they put out a statement, it could be seen as like they're taking somebody's side. So they have to run the investigation. So typically an employer is not going to put out a statement, but like, hey, we're going to do an investigation. It's going to be something basic where it's going to be damn near meaningless. So it's kind of worthless for them to even put out a statement, because they're just be like, hey, we're going to investigate this, get to the bottom of it, and more information to come. So it's like, why do y'all want them to make a statement? But when an athlete or something allegation is made with them, say if I was an athlete and somebody made an allegation, then I would put out a statement like, hey, this is unfounded, blah, 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 because I'm more or less, worried about my public image. And, if I was innocent, then I'm going to put out a statement like that. Like, because, you got 100% that that you isn't, because it's more individual based. So yeah, for the entity, somebody to want the entity to put out a statement. Yeah. Most of the time their legal team is probably like, oh, hell no. Like, let's do our investigation. That way we're not biased. Once we get we do that. We'll put out information based on the investigation, and we'll let that hit the public. So yeah, it'll be dumb. It'll be like almost open them up for additional lawsuits. Because say like if they did their investigation, they came out here and was like, hey, we're gonna do something that was more biased towards say Faraji, but it was unfounded or something. Then Joy, Acho, Skip, could then turn around and try to sue, FS1 for coming out biased. So yeah, they ain't stupid.
We haven't heard from it. This accusation came out on Sunday night.
Yeah.
It's Wednesday.
Mm-hmm.
Hello.
And it's so deep, and the details are there.
There's a lot of accusations that have been filed. Yes?
Yeah.
And there's a list of them. You have names like Charlie Dixon. You have names like Skip Bayless. You have names like Joy Taylor. We have Emmanuel Achos of the world, and even mentions of a Shannon Sharp. Now, granted, these are still accusations, but yet we have not heard a statement, a public statement, or more information for the public. Where is that at?
Mm-hmm.
And
it ain't coming.
Granted, I have to speak on behalf of the athletes, because if an athlete was ever charged or accusations, Deshaun Watson, you got to speak out on it.
Yeah,
I'm like, we haven't heard from anybody, and it's almost been swept under the rug. And I say that because there have been shows and nobody's speaking on it, or speaking very brief, and that ain't good enough.
Yeah.
This is a serious matter. This is damn near, it is a part of the Me Too movement, where executives use their power in ways that corrupts the workplace environment. And we haven't heard anything from that. That's my issue.
Mm-hmm.
So if we're going to hold athletes to a standard, we got to also hold the networks and the executives to that same standard.
And those hoes,
see, again, he's confusing everything. He's trying to make the entity on putting them on the same, playing field as like the athletes. And it's just like, yeah, when you're the employer, you got to be unbiased to both sides, because there's a story. There's the person that files it, then it's the people on the other side. So until you do your investigation, you just can't put out statements. So I mean, I think people need to start kind of, understanding HR rules and all that stuff, or talk to legal people, because it's totally different from an individual. Yeah, like the athlete should put out statements to guard themselves. Like, if allegations are filed to them, like, hey, this is unfounded, blah, blah, blah. It's more or less like a public, what's the public affairs type thing, where you're like, hey, this is unfounded. I'm gonna counter sue or whatever, but the entity, they should be quiet. And a lot of people get confused with that. Like, oh, why are they silent? Why aren't they saying nothing? Like, man, they ain't about to catch additional lawsuits, because there's probably gotta be some payouts from this. So they misstep. That's even more on top of that. So it's almost like damage control at this point. So yeah, this is gonna be crickets for a minute.
if an athlete would have done something, they would have been the first person to speak out and go against it, and asking for a statement. Instead, they have cut their comments off on social.
Correct.
Nobody has done anything.
Deleted content.
Exactly.
It's also,
and they have moved on, just like it never happened.
So we have to, we owe a service to people to have information.
Yeah.
And I must also respect that it's still accusations.
Mm-hmm.
But FS1, where's the statements, and how do you fend yourself? Now, granted, anything in the court of law has its restraints.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? I just know if I was in this situation, that's where your publicist has to make a statement. You have to do certain things. And I'm not getting that same energy, or I don't feel like they're being held accountable. And it's subjective for me to say. I just haven't heard it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Now,
and plus another thing to point out, a lot of companies, why they stay silent now, they know most people got short attention spans. The media cycle ain't like what it used to be back in the day, where, a story could carry on for months because there wasn't much stuff going on. Now we got so much stuff. It's just like people would give this stuff about 2 weeks, and another incident's gonna come up. So a company's just like, look, we could stay silent. This stuff will blow over. Then, like I said, when they do their investigation, they'll put the information out. So yeah, I think people just think like this information should come like rapid time and stuff, and then they misstep. Nah, they like nah, they got short attention spans. We'll take the hit up front for not being too transparent, but we'll put it on in the back end. I'm gonna skip over some of this and get to the point where he's getting at Jason. All right, so here's the section where he starts getting at Jason. Let me press play on that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Now, with this lawsuit kind of coming into or having light shed on it, you have the Jason Whitlocks of the world to say certain things as well. What did he say?
I know what I'm capable of. And that big rack of hers that she showed off constantly, it's just, and that peanut butter skin with that big rack, like, Jay, keep your distance.
Okay.
Now, Jason was a little too descriptive. He could have just said, hey, man, she was always showing off her rack and cleavage, but man, he ain't had to throw like the big in there, the peanut butter skin. But I mean, it was like I said, for Cam to come at him. Cam, you're not the spokesperson for doing right. But let me get to Cam's comments real quick.
Hey, Jason Whitlock. Hey, my guy. No, you're not my guy. Guy, come here. You're not that guy, pal. You're not. That big rack of hers, that's inappropriate. That butter skin, that's inappropriate. Like, bro, you're not that guy. So to comment on something like this, bro, stay in your lane. Whether Joy did what she did, the accusations are true or not, stay in your lane, Jason. All right? Because, bro, like, you're having an outer body experience, and it's time for me to put you back in your body to let you know, bro, you're.
And see, this is where, like, I don't know where Cam was going, because I seen a couple other people breaking it down, and that's what I'm saying. It's just like, if people misstep in life and they do some stuff and they're in the public sphere, man, we have every right to talk about them. So if I say like I got some status or something on this and I misstep, man, y'all got the right to cover it, because it's me. I should, if I don't want people to be covering my life, I either A, should stay out of the public, or I need to make sure I handle my business and don't put myself in anything that people could start talking about, you know. So it's just like when people are like, oh, stay in your place. Hell nah, he's a commentary, you know, he's got a YouTube channel just like you comment on shit. So it's just like, how are you not going to stay in your lane, but you want everybody else to stay in your lane? Yeah. And then it's just like I said, again, it's just like the hypocrisy with Cam Newton trying to take the stance. And this is where a lot of people was like, hey, Cam out here simping and trying to be a save-a-hoe and stuff. But let me keep playing.
Not that guy, pal.
Yeah.
So whether you want to speak on your 2 cents or not, keep it. Please do. Because no, it ain't that.
But I wanted to ask you a question too for Joy Taylor. Not saying the allegations are true, but how would one move around in the industry now as a host to be taken serious, and for people like Jason Whitlock not to make these statements about them? Like when I see you, it's like, oh, I know what she about. Let me say what I say.
I remember having a conversation with my lady, and she brought up a point that I never really considered. Is there's a such thing as pretty girl privilege, but there's also a thing where you have pretty girl exclusion.
Elaborate.
You see what I'm saying? So like when you're a pretty girl, it's hard for people to take you serious because your physique looks a certain type of way, because your face looks a certain type of way. And that's just the truth.
So they see you before they hear you.
They that. Okay. And it's sometimes unfortunate because you can be a very attractive person, Joy, Molly, Jazz, multiple other, you know, talent that's on ESPN and Fox. And what do you tell them? Just because you're a pretty girl, you're not qualified? Or if you do get this job, you only got it because you slept with somebody? That's bullshit. Yeah. That's bullshit.
I do agree with Cam right there, man. There is some, I think a lot of times people do make assumptions, But with that being said, there's assumptions placed on everybody. You know, shit. Some of us as like black men sometimes there might be assumptions, but it's your job to fight against those stereotypes and those assumptions. So you should be carrying yourself a certain way where, you know, when people do have those conversations with you, be like, you know what, damn, they do know they stuff. Oh, you know what, they carry themselves. They're very professional in these settings and stuff. So, you know, like he said, these are allegations and stuff, but that's your job not to step over them boundaries. Because once you kind of do that, you kind of validate some of people's assumptions. You, like I said, you play into those stereotypes. So it's like the allegations made with Joy. Yeah, she was a pretty female, and some people might have had that in their head and stuff. But it's just like if she did do some of the stuff with some of the people in her setting, she walked right into that stereotype. And from what some other people that worked in that area, like Jason Whitlock used to work up there, and you know, a couple other people, they're like, hey man, there was some funny stuff going on. We seen a lot of this stuff. It was known since 2015. So like I said, they're allegations right now, but there's some people kind of supporting some of the statements that's going on. So for Cam to like ignore all of the other people that used to work in these type of settings and just go to like Jason Whitlock, what he said, that I thought that was kind of being an idiot, kind of, you know, singling him out at that point.
And no matter how you look, no matter what color your skin is, the job should go to the person who's most deserving of the job, no matter how you look, right? So Joy, is she a very attractive woman? Absolutely. And it's not for me to make inappropriate statements, Jason, by saying that rack. Like, bro, come on, bro. Like, all right, let's put it like this, since we want to get personal. Like, yo, who you fucking? Who you sleeping with?
What she look like?
Like, bring her to the forefront, him to the forefront, because now you got to be open in these.
You gotta be, huh?
You know what I'm saying? And it ain't no shade, but I'm just keeping it a bug.
Yeah.
This is a person who's, bro, like been a villain in the industry for years. So I'm like, bro, we want to see her, him, whoever. I'm not judging you, bro. I'm just saying, don't say no inappropriate things like that and not be questioned about that. But also too, from the talent standpoint, the Joys, the Mollys, the girls or the females who are attractive, that doesn't mean that they aren't talented or the right person for the job. Because it took me to appreciate Molly Karam even more by working with her.
Mm-hmm.
Let me stop it before he keeps going on. Like I said, I do agree, man, you can't kind of judge a book by its cover, because it's like, man, just because somebody's attractive don't mean that they did sleep their way to a top. I know a lot of people, man, they had the credentials, they did the hard work, they made them sacrifices. But I mean, when Cam started kind of talking, he went back to oh, who's Jason Whitlock fucking? Who's this and this? You know, kind of taking them swipes. Oh, you're not the guy, you know, somewhat making the implications like he's the guy. And it's just like, man, like I said, man, you put some babies on the stripper, dog, and you out there on record talk about you was throwing stacks at chicks, putting them through college and stuff. And actually, man, like I got a clip, man. Let me pull that clip up real quick, because y'all, man, this is what I'm saying, man. Everybody don't need to always challenge stuff. You know, I think sometimes you gotta be smart enough to be like, yo, man, I ain't got the cleanest slate. I need to, even though I might be feeling this way, I probably need to let somebody else, you know, go on this crusade and you know, police what they saying and stuff. Cause I be making some crazy statements myself, and my background ain't the cleanest. So I need to stay away from this shit. But let me play this real quick.
I never went to a strip club for women. I always went to strip clubs for guys.
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man?
No
I told
homo.
you, we went to a strip club.
No diddy. I'm a
That shit weird as fuck. I ain't gonna lie to you. You going to a strip club for some dudes. like, let me hear this.
competitor. I wasn't gonna spend no money if I didn't see nobody else spending
no
money.
money.
As soon as I seen somebody thinking that they got money, okay,
Yeah.
you spending 5, I'm gonna spend 6. If
Yeah.
you gonna spend 10, I'm gonna spend 15. And then we're gonna have a rain off.
Yeah, I love it.
So
I'm not saying you do that in Onyx.
So
And them two chicks that was in that clip before, they're like OG strippers or something. And this was on Cam's I think main YouTube page where he was like having a conversation with him. But you see what I'm saying? Like, man, you made it rain and shit. Yeah, you're not you can't go on another guy for making some comments, and you out here just like I said, on some degenerate shit.
Oh, that's my whole thing. It's like,
And I ain't against men that go to the strip club, to each his own, but to be done on some crusade and you, like I said, you putting chicks through college and shit. Yeah, you ain't the one that should be talking.
I don't go to strip clubs for chicks, even though I want decoration. I was a competitor, still am a competitor, to think like, nigga, you think you got it, but you don't got it. That 15 that you making, I'm gonna spend my 15 and I'm gonna make it back easy. You know what I'm saying? Like, it ain't that.
Just to say this story, because I got this story on you.
Talk to me.
At Onyx, you was at the top. You said these exact same fucking words.
Straight up.
You said, "Oh, he want to play. I got it. I'm having it. I'm gonna make this back tomorrow."
So does that sound like the man? I know dudes that clean up and don't spend no money at all. That's the man. The dude that ain't got to spend no money and don't be very putting babies on suspect type chicks, man. So let me pull up this article because yeah, I saw this, man, when I was like just typing in some stuff because I like to try to do a little bit of research when I'm looking at stuff. I'm like, man, if it's even. But look at this, man. This came out in 2023 and Sportskeeda. So it's like the title of this article is "Who is Cam Newton's ex?" Kia Proctor, former stripper, dragged QB to court over 20K utility bills. And this is the one where I think he got like 4 kids with. So that's what I'm saying. Y'all, does that sound like he's the man? Like definitely, man, quarterback, top notch. I saw somebody else. Yeah, he should be in the Hall of Fame, man. Broke records, and great build. Hit stays in the gym, but it's just like, man, there's some disconnect in this cat's head, man. Where, like I said, Jason Whitlock, like I said, statements was a little off, but that brother ain't out here, having kids with strippers and shit like that and doing all this other fraudulent stuff. So yeah, that's why I was like, man, we gotta give Cam some pushback on this one, man. He should be the one on some save a whole crusade, But all right, let me get back to the video. But yeah, I just wanted to show y'all because it's just like, man, when I seen that stuff, I'm like, man, that's crazy as hell. Like, yeah, Jason's shit was weird, but Cam, you got way worse shit you need to be worrying about, man. Your girl's like taking you to court over your ex, for different things like the Bentley and the utility bills and stuff. Come on, man. You shouldn't even be worried about what Jason doing out here.
And understanding she's a fucking beast.
Yeah.
The way she's able to tee up certain individuals, the Ryan Clarks, the Stephen A. Smiths, the Shannon Sharps, the Mad Dogs of the world, like that's a talent that requires a certain individual to know.
Yeah. Very
professional. Very, I come here to work and I do my job at a high level. So let's not get distracted by how she looked rather than what she's actually bringing to the table, because she's a definite game changer for sure, as well as Joy.
So I have to ask you from that perspective, all right, from that side, but from the side of the owner Cam, the boss Cam, right? And so you have this boss as the executive vice president, Charlie Dixon, even though they are allegations.
Mm-hmm.
How do you, as a boss, an owner, a president,
a person who has high regards, but you also have to walk with integrity?
Yes, and that's what I'm saying. Even when you have employees that are of the opposite sex, how do you walk in integrity, and how do you set the environment for that?
Bro, first and foremost, people who know me and who work alongside with me last year.
Real quick, I don't know the gentleman's name in this video, but that was a good question right there that he asked Cam.
I made a very important hire for my production company, and hiring a female in Kristen Myers, who is a female, very attractive, but I've never crossed the line. And understanding she didn't get it because she looked good. She got it because she deserved to get that opportunity.
Yeah.
Right. And you see it oftentimes in the industry where people can get boxed out by like, dang, she looked good, so what you gonna do for me? You won't do that to a male. Yeah. But in my position, you have to make sure that you're always cognizant of the workplace environment. There's been let
me stop it right here. So Cam ain't say nothing wrong, But this, like, if somebody would have asked me this question, I agree with Cam. You should be walking with integrity and stuff. But and this is for guys, man, because me being a hiring manager, executive, don't even reference anybody's looks to begin with. Like, because you're almost putting the spotlight on them. So even though Cam, he's talking in a moment and stuff, you never even reference anybody's looks. You keep it on, man, they came from, you should know your employees. If you hire somebody, it's like, man, what's their body of work? What's their credentials? And you talk about that. This is what they did. Now, if they happen to be good looking, that is what it is, But it's just like, if we're doing your hiring right, it's like, man, okay, where did they work? What's their background? Were they a journalist before? Was they putting that time in on the field, traveling with the teams? If you're like a sports company, that's where you make your decisions based off of it. And also, man, like, I always try to have a hiring panel. I have some women on there, get some diversity and stuff. So that way it's just like when we, make a hire or something, we're about to make that hire. We compare them notes like, hey, what did you think about this candidate? Okay, what's your notes? What's the strengths, the weaknesses, what you saw? And there should be some consistency on that. And it removes all the biases. That way, it's just like if anybody questions your hire, like, nah, so-and-so was on there. Here's all our 3 notes. We saw the same thing. We discussed it, and it was just based on their experience, their talent, whatever. Like I said, their credentials. So, and it'll just keep your environment fair. And then those other people that's on that panel, like, say if anybody's like, oh, so-and-so hired this person because they were friends or something, those other people that was on that panel could be advocates for you. Like, nah, whenever he makes a decision, he had me in there, he had so-and-so in there, he's by the book. And it'll just save you so much trouble. It'll protect you from like lawsuits and stuff. So I just wanted to drop that because it's just a good way just to, eliminate a lot of this, assumptions and stuff. And if you're like I'll say like a small business and you don't have, say, like a hiring panel or people within there, man, reach out to some people that and man, they could be external to where you work and they could just come on a panel and be like, hey, this is what I'm looking for. You probably have to bring them to speed on some of the things, but still they could give you a solid assessment and help you out with that, where, like I said, you'll have those witnesses if anybody ever challenges a hire or something. But all right, I'll get back to the video.
There's been multiple times where I've had to have exclusive conversations, right? Just me and Kristen, right? There's been opportunity or times where I had to make sure that she's comfortable as well as I'm comfortable. Mm-hmm. And this is the thing too. I want to make damn sure that I'm being held accountable to the potentials of what it could look like and also the direct of what it could potentially look like. And everybody has to abide by that, because having a safe workplace environment is not something to just giggle and tease about, because females deserve the right the same way as males. Mm-hmm. Now, there's been something in my career that,
and definitely agree with Cam on here. So I think he did make some good statements at the end. So it's just like your job is to, like, if you're an executive or in a leadership role, create a fair environment and you don't overstep them boundaries. So just going back to the Fox lawsuit situation, if the executives were in the wrong, they definitely need to be handled and taken care of. And you got to stop those. They got to fix those hiring practices just to make sure they create a better environment. Because if you look at when you have people misstepping, how costly this is probably going to be to Fox News as the company when they got to do payouts and stuff like that, and the image hit that they're going to take. So yeah, it just ain't worth it. I know so many guys, like, man, they step over the boundaries, but it's like, man, when you like look at it with all you destroy and stuff, man, don't even go down that path, man. Just make sure you do things right. And that's why I do like some of these scenarios. It's like, man, we could talk about stuff in real time. People could add in, give different viewpoints. So even though like Cam was saying stuff originally that was correct, where I even pointed out like, hey, look, just don't even reference people's looks. You know what? Keep it based on the credentials. Like, he wasn't saying nothing wrong, but it's just like, hey, just stuff we could add in when we like do video breakdowns and stuff. But all right, y'all, I'm out of here.